While most parents of first graders are helping their children round up school supplies and calm anxieties for the new school year, a family in Spokane Valley is doing everything it can to extend their first grader's life. And not just his, but his little brother's too. It's a story that has garnered national and even international attention for what this disease does to little bodies. The family wants you to know about it as they try to save their sons.
I think I have the sweetest kids ever.
Christian and Bryden Tucker have 3 kids. Oliver will be 2 in a few weeks.
He's a climber. We call him a little monkey.
Talia just turned 5 on Saturday.
She's like the ideal sister.
And big brother Michael is 6.
He amazes me. He's the toughest kid I know.
Mom Christian says Michael's toughness started early when he struggled with speech. He started speech therapy at about 18 months, where therapists also noticed he had some fine motor issues. So he went to occupational therapy. When Michael was 3 or 4, his family noticed he was rolling his eyes at them. But it started happening more frequently, even as he was just playing or watching TV. They were seizures.
Called the pediatrician. We got in, and during that appointment, I think he had 5 or more seizures.
The doctor tried several medications that didn't work, eventually sending Michael to a neurologist who wanted to see just how many seizures Michael was having.
They said it usually takes about 24 hours to get a good idea on how many seizures they're having. We came back, and it had only been about 4 or 5 hours, and he'd had over 100 seizures. And they weren't even close to what I was seeing. I think thought I saw like 15.
The neurologist ordered genetic testing. The diagnosis, CL2N, or Batten disease.
Which was just like the worst thing ever. Sorry.
Batten disease is rare, affecting about 3 kids out of every 100,000. There is no cure. Seizures are among the first symptoms.
Then loss of motor skills, loss of speech, loss of eyesight, childhood dementia, and then eventually it causes death.
When you hear the symptom dementia, it stops you in your tracks.
It's like adult dementia. It's just with your kids, and yeah. It's something that terrifies me.
The disease is progressive. According to Texas Children's Hospital, Batten disease is often fatal in early childhood or by late teens or 20s. The whole family got tested. Mom, Dad, and Talia are carriers of the gene that causes it.
Before we even got the other kids tested, I knew Oliver's test was going to come back because he wasn't trying to speak. He was following the same path as Michael with speech.
The news was devastating. But the glimmer of hope for the Tuckers is that the form of Batten disease the boys have is the only one with a treatment. It's not a cure, but a chance to slow the progression of the disease. Oliver and Michael are in Seattle right now, recovering from a procedure to implant a port in their chest with a catheter to their brain, where medicine can be directly administered. They had this procedure yesterday morning.
Ideally, it will slow things down enough that there can be a cure, that we can find something, and that Michael doesn't lose his ability to walk, and he doesn't have more speech problems, and his seizures don't get worse, and he gets to be a little kid, and he gets to go to school, and that maybe Oliver never has a seizure, and he just gets to grow up like every other little boy.
Michael and Oliver will have to go to Seattle for infusions every other week for the rest of their lives, unless doctors in Spokane can get trained to care for them here. In the meantime, the Tucker family is focused on finding a cure and focused on the time they have together.
We want them to have as much of a childhood as possible. Michael's already been through so many medical procedures and therapies and things like that, so just making sure they have a good life.
I just have to remain hopeful and just have faith that it'll be okay. And then if it's not, then I'll at least know that I gave them everything I could and that we're giving them the best life that we can.
If you would like more information about the boys' journey, including information on a fundraiser for them, just find this story. It'll be posted here in just a little bit on KXLY.com.
And it's so heartbreaking, Robyn, but
it's awful.
What about a prognosis? How do we even know if this procedure they're trying out is going to help?
Well, I have been communicating with the boy's doctor, and she says prognosis is really hard, of course, in something like this, but they're pretty optimistic in that it can at least modify or even improve the course of the disease as they wait and hope for a cure.
And like she said, prolong things until they can keep their fingers crossed for that cure.